Well, let's go to the very next throw. Let's start it off there. It's only a 6-yard completion, but it was a big boy throw. This is the throw that lets you know that Drew Lock has the ability to play in the NFL.
4-man rush. Lock in the pocket, bounces around, throws the ball to the back of the end zone. Pass is caught. Touchdown, Denver. That's Noah Fant. Great throw by Drew Lock. Terrific catch by Noah Fant. A touchdown reception of 6 yards, and with 5 seconds to go in the half, that cuts the Buffalo lead to 21-13.
And then, of course, they missed the extra point. That throw was just a great throw. He muscled it in there, tight window, put the ball exactly where it needed to be. Noah Fant makes a great catch on it. It was just a big boy throw, and it's throws like that are tantalizing. It's throws like that keep you saying, okay, Drew Lock can play in this league. Drew Lock, he just needs to be more consistent with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that is an upper echelon.
It is. It really is. It was a great throw.
Yep.
Whatever you think of whatever else on Drew Lock, that was a great throw.
And there weren't a lot of other options either. I think Tim Patrick was eventually going to come open, but
it was kind of.
But it was sort of muddled mess in there in the middle, and that was the play. Like to Noah Fant on that pass, it was a high level difficulty kind of play,
right?
But it was the right call. It was the right play, and they both executed it perfectly.
Yeah, it was.
And again, something that you kind of highlight multiple times. I mean, think about this as development. Think about this as time on the field together that they're going to bring into next year, because the options continue to look more and more like this is what it's going to be. This is the more or less the setup on offense. But Noah Fant has had those moments too. That was a great play by him. Just great, sure hands. I don't know. What can you say? I mean, they needed to have it. They put themselves within one score going into half.
Yeah, and you needed it. You needed a score. You came up with it. That was big. And you did it against a cover 2 zone defense, which Drew Lock has frankly been terrible at all year. If you look at the breakdown by coverage shell on Drew Lock, 2 deep man under and cover 2, he is absolutely horrendous against that defense. Everything he eats up cover 3, and he eats up man.
You said that coming into the game, which was interesting because later on after the game, people were like, well, Ryan and Ben thought that the Broncos had a shot in this game, and we did think they had a shot, but it would have taken good, if not flawless execution, really across the board. And we said that our biggest concern was the Broncos' defense, their secondary more specifically. Now, they had some problems up front too, no question, but it's really a combination. Like if you're having problems up front or problems in the back end, they usually work one-on-one with each other. So, the defense, and we'll get to some thoughts on that too, because Justin Simmons and Josie Jewell had some really fascinating comments about that after the game. But the offensive side, they needed to kind of continue to channel what momentum they've been building. And up to the half point, you said, okay, you did enough to stay in this game, but the third quarter, everything fell apart.
Well, the fumble. I mean, honestly, the wheels came off with the fumble. You had to keep pace. You had to be perfect in this one, and that was the point where the wheels came off. And you could feel it. You could see it in the team. You could see it in the body language and all that kind of stuff. But they did regroup for a nice little touchdown drive as Melvin Gordon punched it in.
Lock takes a snap, hands off to Gordon. Gordon makes a nice cut, spins close to the end zone, leaves the ball there, and he is knocked down, they say, just shy of the goal line. No signal that he was down and no signal that he had a touchdown. Dean Marlowe came up to make the tackle.
Running on the field is a fumble forward, recovered by a teammate, so we'll bring it back to the spot of the fumble.
The fumble occurred, though, after Gordon leaned the football over the goal line. That should be a touchdown.
After review of the play, the runner had control of the ball and extended it beyond the goal line. It is a touchdown.
Oh, there you go. And, they needed that. I think that for a team that had the wheels come off there and you knew it, you got punched in the mouth by a Super Bowl contender, you need to come back and put some points on the board, kind of regroup yourself. The Broncos did that.
And by the way, people are going to say that the Broncos did that against some kind of prevent. They did.
It was not a prevent. Buffalo was playing solid all the way through. There was never a moment where, you could talk about garbage time if you want, but in the end, they were playing tough all the way through. To wit, that brings up this next highlight that they had never given up at any point. I could have gone with the Stephon Diggs long pass play, but instead, we're going to go with this run by Devin Singletary because I got a point I want to make after it.
Hands off to Devin Singletary, who breaks it 40, 35, 30. Singletary cuts away from Justin Simmons, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Buffalo. 51 yards on the run. Devin Singletary's second rushing touchdown of the season. 51 yards represents the longest run of the season by the Bills.
You could hear Bills Mafia cackling right there.
You can hear Dave's just dejected, kind of.
Just disgusted, kind of thing. And I get it. I mean, and that's the reason I wanted to bring this one up is because as a defense, you can't expect someone to take it easy on you at the end of the game just because they've got a big lead and everything. You cannot expect that. And Buffalo reminded them of that. Buffalo came in and they butt whooped them. And so they came in and they ran the ball. And Devin Singletary wasn't going to go down. I'm not just 3 yards and falling over. I'm going to take this to the house if you're not going to play me. And that's why you got to play till the final whistle. And I understand you're dejected. I understand that, you're going to lose and all that kind of stuff, but lose with some dignity, lose with some pride, and make sure that guy doesn't get to the end zone.
Yeah, Shelby missed that tackle, and that's, again, that's what it happens, but then you needed somebody back there, and I think they were in cover 0 on it, if I'm not mistaken. I think they were playing up for the run.
I believe they were.
Yeah, there was nobody deep. I know that. So
Simmons was the only one who had an angle, and he had a bad angle on it. So,
so it was an unfortunate ending. I think it obviously. I mean, look, there's one. Sometimes we come into these things saying the score isn't completely indicative. In this case, it really is. The Buffalo Bills had a 41-19 lead at that point before that touchdown. It was over. You gambled to sort of stop the run there. It didn't pay off. So people are going to say that the team quit. I don't think they quit on that play. I think it was unfortunate, and by that point in the game, what can you do?
Right.
You were in the defensive call that if a guy gets past that first burst, gets to the next level, he's gone. Mm-hmm. Most running backs. And by the way, you heard that. It's like second rushing touchdown. They have not had a great running game.
They really haven't. And that was but they were gambling on it, and somebody missed their run. Shelby missed the tackle, somebody else missed their gap assignment, and it was over from there. But you can't loaf at the end and expect somebody just to take it easy on you. Can't do that, and that's why I wanted to include that one too. People say we aren't critical of the Broncos or whatever it is, whatever nonsense they spew on Twitter. Well, there you go.
Yeah, well, and I played the Josh Allen touchdown. So no, and they had a great game plan. We said over the course of the week that the Buffalo Bills, and I remember asking this of several of the Bills media, like, is this the best team in the AFC, even with the Chiefs out there with a better record? And honestly, the way they're playing, I don't see a lot of flaws. If they're going to play like that, and the Broncos had the reasons to struggle, but if they're going to play like that, which was a complete football game, they beat anybody. They'd beat anybody playing that well.
Yeah,
they made some mistakes in the red zone. Now, I'll give them that. But you know what? Most of the time, they made up for it.
And I'd put that Buffalo Bills team up against any team.
Yes.
Any team in football, to include Kansas City Chiefs, which they're probably going to wind up playing each other in the AFC Championship games all said and done.
Yeah, which will be a lot of fun to watch. But there you go. That's our breakdown of the Bills win over the Denver Broncos 48-19.